This bridge is only 40 years old, and it's already dying. The steel inside is rusting, the concrete flaking away. Most modern concrete gets 50, maybe 100 years, before it has to be torn down and poured again. Now look at this. A Roman harbor wall, built 2,000 years ago, still standing in the open sea. The salt water should have destroyed it long ago. Instead, something impossible is happening. It's growing stronger with age. At its heart, concrete is simple. A glue that binds loose rock into artificial stone. The Romans had no modern kilns. What they had instead was a volcano and the ash around the Bay of Naples. Mix that volcanic ash with lime and water, and it sets into stone harder than the rock around it. This wasn't luck. A Roman engineer named Vitruvius wrote the recipe down 2,000 years ago. 1 part lime to 3 parts volcanic ash for buildings. 1 to 2 for work built underwater. Pliny the Elder went further. Once it touched seawater, he wrote, it became a single stone, stronger every day. You've probably stood under their masterpiece without knowing it. The Pantheon, in Rome. Its dome has held itself up for 1,900 years, with no steel and no reinforcement at all. To this day, it is the largest unreinforced concrete dome anywhere on the planet. And they were clever. Heavy stone at the base, light pumice near the top, an open hole at the crown. They weren't just mixing concrete. They were engineering it, layer by layer. But why won't it die? To understand that, you have to know how our concrete dies. Most of ours hides steel bars inside. That steel stops it snapping. It's the concrete's strength, and its fatal flaw. Water and salt seep through the pores, reach the metal, and it begins to rust. Rust takes up more room than steel, so it swells and cracks the concrete from the inside. Once it starts, it can't be stopped. Salt water is the assassin. The ocean is where concrete goes to die. Which is what makes the Roman piers so baffling. They had no steel to rust. Yet they poured into the same deadly sea. And instead of destroying the concrete, the sea was feeding it. Scientists took core samples and found the answer under the microscope. As seawater trickled in, it didn't attack. It grew new crystals inside the cracks. Rare, interlocking crystals with a name like a spell, Al-tobermorite. They're tough, and they knit the material tighter with every passing year. The same force that destroys our concrete rebuilds theirs. The sea wasn't the enemy, it was the recipe. But one mystery remained, the layer that stumped scientists until just a few years ago. Look closely, and you'll see small white chunks scattered through it, like nuts in a chocolate bar. These are limeclasts. For a century, experts read them as sloppy work, a flaw. Then, in 2023, a team at MIT and Harvard looked again. Everyone had been wrong for 100 years. The white lumps weren't a mistake. They were the trick. The assumption was that Romans soaked their lime first, the safe, standard way. But they did something bolder. They mixed it dry and hot, straight as quicklime. That sends the temperature spiking toward 400 degrees. Fast, a little violent, and it scatters those brittle limeclasts all through the concrete. Years later, a crack forms and starts creeping through the wall. When it reaches a lime-clast, water gets in, dissolves it, and it recrystallizes. Fresh mineral fills the crack and glues it shut. The concrete heals its own wounds. The researchers proved it. They cast concrete the Roman way, cracked it, and ran water through. In 2 weeks it sealed completely. A batch without the clasts stayed broken. So why does a 2,000-year-old recipe matter now? Because we have a concrete problem. We pour more of it than any material on Earth except water. And making it is brutal on the planet. Cement is nearly 8% of human carbon emissions. 8%. More than every airplane in the sky combined. And most of what we build is designed to be torn down within a century. Now imagine concrete that lasts ages, heals its own cracks, and grows stronger in the sea. That's not a fantasy. Labs are racing to bring self-healing concrete into the present. The Romans lacked our machines, but they understood something we forgot in our rush to build cheap. The strongest thing you can design isn't the thing that never breaks. It's the thing that knows how to repair itself. 2,000 years of waves, and it's still standing. Every wonder has layers. Dig deeper.